Dad really likes making these wall art pieces out of wood, and as such he makes a lot of cookies, little slabs of wood that don't quite have the center of the tree in them, but a lot of times have a lot of defects. And it's hard to get big, large pieces of wood, especially ones that have this nice figure from the crotch. So you want to maximize your use from it. So for today's tip, let me show you how he uses a handsaw technique of creating a curve all the way around the board so that the saw wants to follow the path of least resistance, and it cuts a much straighter line on the lathe. Okay, so he's going to split this, what is that, 3 inches, 2.5 inches directly in half on the lathe. He's already got a spot where he can mount it in a chuck, and he's been going through a larger log and just taking little slices off at a time. So here's how you can really quickly do it accurately. This is a McNaughton tool, and we have a video earlier in the year on showing how to use it. Look at that, a 1-inch thick platter, ready to be surfaced, texturized, and sold. So today's tip wasn't about using a chainsaw on the lathe or anything, it was about transferring knowledge. I mean, you learn the technique with a hand tool, there's no reason why you couldn't transfer it to a really cool power tool. I mean, you can transfer physics, science, and all that kind of stuff into woodworking. So, learn more and get more done. Today's tip wasn't really a turning tip, but it did take place at the lathe. So for today's bonus, I want to talk about Steve Jones. You can find him at the Wood Turners on Facebook, Twitter, and .com, I believe. But I really want to talk about his effort on YouTube. Woodturner21 on YouTube. Now, he's not going to be a guy you want to go to for turning tips for if you're a dead beginner. You kind of need a little bit of background knowledge and experience to appreciate what he's really showing you. Because basically most of his videos are just a cell phone kept above his lathe showing you what it is. But the thing is, Steve has gone through a true apprenticeship. In fact, if you wanted to become a wood turner the moment you were born, you probably wanted to go through Steve's experience, because he came from a long line of wood turners going back over 150 years. I have no clue how many generations of wood turners that is. And he was brought up turning the traditional way. And it's one of those things that, yes, it's just an overhead camera of him actually working, but if you've got some turning skills, you can observe the little changes in colors on his joints as he puts pressure one way or the other. You can see how his cutting edge is dancing across different angles, how he's coming into the wood. I mean, his skewing techniques are so phenomenal. They actually changed a lot of the ways I was doing stuff. And how he does that backward cut with a skew, actually, I would get a catch going backwards, but he can make some of the most nice ribbons, and more importantly, get a great finish straight off the blade. And he's a production woodworker right now, so a lot of his videos are him actually making stuff for customers. You know, he's making 100 of them at a time. So you can see the design process, the build technique, as in a way that's optimizing speed in addition to finish and shape. Really, if you've got some wood turning experience, or you just really want to see how a true expert does stuff, Woodturners 21 on YouTube. I mean, it'll blow your mind.